Well, good morning, St. Kitts Divas, brought to you live on TVC Channel 40 on Cable's Ultra TV system. Also brought to you live on the WINNFM website, WINNMediaSKN.com, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and even Twitch. We are Island T. Good morning. I got Chef Rich and AZ up in the building.
Hey, good morning to everybody. I'm just trusting and hoping that everyone is having a wonderful Friday morning. It is, it's clear outside. You realize that the couple days it's been very gloomy, it's been very dark, it's been very cloudy. And so when
you haven't said the main thing.
Rainy.
Cold.
Oh yes, it's still cold. I was like, the breeze outside, especially, I said, this feels like in New York, man. This is cold. Yeah.
I'm so glad for it.
I slept in a sweater last night. Yeah, I had
Yes. So it and we have to appreciate it because it's been hot, especially in 2023. It's been a hot year. So now we have the opportunity, the breeze is blowing, the cold winds. I say, save and accept the rough seas that we had. I said a little bit of this ain't bad,
I was just praying that he knock off the breadfruit them off trees.
Yes.
Once they do that on the mango blossoms, I'm good.
Awesome. But Chef, I came in here and I saw something looking very delicious. And I want to show persons this because I'm going to big you up and I'm also going to say something. Jamsa, you know what I'm going to say?
No, but I know I had one. And it was delicious.
So Chef has, she has brought a product this morning. It looks very delicious. And I was thinking, Jamsa always talking about food in here. Since we started this show, Jamsa talking about food. What he cooked here, what he cooked there. And even Candy was here. Candy's gone now. She's not on the show anymore. And we still haven't seen anything. And here comes Chef. In less than 5 days. And she has treated us with a snack, a breakfast.
I concede.
So I said, I really have to talk about it this morning. So
no, I have to get over my cooking for people anxiety. you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know that goes.
Yeah. But yes, all in good fun. You guys listened to Patrick's show yesterday?
No, let's talk about the waffles first.
Okay, we're going to talk about the waffles. And then we're going to talk about Patrick's show
Yes,
yesterday.
okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay,
But yeah,
right.
so let's talk about the waffles. So tell us about the waffles, Chef.
I hold them up to the camera so people can see.
You can take one of them. Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take one.
We make a lot of, I'm totally gluten free.
Wow.
So we make a lot of alternative products. And we had a restaurant by the name of Cocoa Plums in the Frigate Bay area, but we've closed that and we've transitioned fully into manufacturing because we do realize that agro-processing / food manufacturing is the missing link for agricultural success in St. Kitts. So our first product is the best taste breadfruit fries. Persons may have seen them in Rams and Valumat and Kumars and so forth. And we're trying to show people that we have a lot of gems on island, a lot of things. The breadfruit is receiving international attention about being a climate-friendly crop, about being so nutritious. Hawaii is filled with breadfruit farms now. And so we make the fries, but we were like, let's try it in a waffle. And it has nothing else in it but breadfruit. And it's amazing. It's delicious and it's simple. And the cream on top there that we have, make sure bring you some cream with it. That's made from the lima bean, the big flat butter bean, the white bean, because we do a lot of dairy-free alternatives as well. And that can go on Ireland so easily. Like there is so much that we can use. And that wouldn't cost us a lot. We had to buy breadfruit trees. They're done there.
Hazy,
I'm glad we're talking about the waffles,
It tastes really good.
I could imagine.
You need to.
I said, Chef, I'm going to taste it because you know what? I'm going to taste it after the show, definitely.
Yes.
And, I like how you say it's just the breadfruit. because oftentimes we buy things in the supermarket, we don't know what's in it.
Yes.
We see all the labels and everything and the ingredients and the fancy names.
Yes.
But
yes.
we know from what you have said to us that it's breadfruit, and
Yeah.
breadfruit is a very complex carb,
Mm-hmm.
very good, and so I'm looking
It's
forward
filled
to it.
with steroids, natural, because we don't know that. Sometimes you're tired, you have to keep up with life, and the food is there. It's supposed to help you keep up with life. I mean, I use things like maca and all these things that give you energy, help to balance your hormones, help you handle stress. Breadfruit is filled with natural steroids that build you up, gives you energy. It's great for diabetics. I mean, it's amazing.
Amazing.
It's not hog food.
It seemed like a superfood to me.
But
It is.
I feel like the health promotion department, I think one of the things that they need to promote. I know I have 2 kids, a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I've seen it with other people's kids. They have this idea. I think they treat the local food, the local flora with contempt. I think they're enamored with the stuff that comes out of the supermarket. They'll always take an apple over a mango. That kind of thing.
Really?
Breadfruit, yes. I mean, like, okay, they like
Russian
they like the breadfruit fries, and
Yeah.
some things they turn their noses up at. Like when I do soup, and I love the root tubers, right? Like
Yeah.
the tanyas, and I love that stuff. Right?
We
They-
make smoothies
they-
from
you
the
know?
root tubers, from
You-
the sweet
you know?
potato.
You do it as well?
yam. Smoothies, yeah. It's amazing. Like if you
Tell
if
me
you're-
where
if you're
this is.
working
Tell me
out-
where this is.
Well, we don't operate the restaurant anymore. We're doing manufacturing. So all those are products that we're gonna bring. But for home, like if we used to do a lot of creator hikes, and when you do like the yam smoothies, you recover so quickly.
Yes. Wow. So I love the fact that you have diversified, that you're really going to using our natural
Yes.
substances and making the best of them. We have the breadfruit, and you said what you said. What kind
That's from lima beans.
Oh,
the
lima
big,
beans, yeah.
it's not culturally we don't use them as much. I think Jamaicans use them more, but it's a big flat white bean you've probably seen in the supermarket. Extremely rich in protein and other nutrients, and it's completely dairy free.
Oh, wow.
For persons out there who try to avoid dairy like myself.
So if persons are interested, they're listening to this show and they're interested, how can they contact you? How can they get more information?
Well, we have a Facebook page still called Cocoa Plums on Facebook, and our number is 665-7612. And as I said, though, we've transitioned into manufacturing, but what we are doing, we are identifying products that Kititians like, because just to tell Kititians, eat local, it does not work. The Kititian palate has changed. If you've ever seen KFC lines, and we're going to get those breadfruit fries in KFC in the future, just saying. But if you see Kititians, they consume so much fries and all that, so we're trying to tailor
yeah,
the
and
food to
the
their
oil as
palate.
well. So
Yeah.
tell me, I'm here, I'm a novice, but tell me, what is used to you use oil, you bake this, what you do
This
with
is
it?
a waffle. It's done in a waffle pan.
Okay,
So
then.
you can do a number of things. You can, and I like when Kititians talk about oil. You know what I mean? Because even now we're trying to reach out to the health department as well, because there's a misconception that oils are bad. You need oils in your system. It's
Yes.
a type of oil.
It's a type of oil.
Right?
Could I say the virgin oil? That's a good oil, right?
Yeah, but when you're
Virgin
cooking,
oil? You mean olive oil?
Olive oil.
Even the extra virgin.
extra virgin
Yes,
olive oil.
the extra virgin.
Every
oh Lord,
extra
I
virgin
laying out
olive
myself
oil.
on the thing. I don't cook that much.
If you
yeah.
have an extra virgin
I'm laying
olive
out
oil
myself.
and it's not green,
Yes.
I don't know how it can be extra virgin. First off, the person it's not green. But olive oil is good as an oil that you drizzle. You don't
Yes.
want to heat it. 'Cause oils have what you call a flash point. And this is another issue that we've had. A lot of time they tell us deep frying food and frying food is bad for you, but it's a method. If you go in, and a lot of places, they have these industrial fryers, and they can go up to 400 or 500 degrees. Now, you need an oil that has a very high flash point. Oils like that tend to be coconut oil, which is not so good because it's good, but it tends to froth a lot when you fry it, so you can't really see what's going on. Palm oil is the sister to coconut oil. That's a very good flashpoint. Then you have other oils, like avocado oil is making a big thing now, but that's super expensive. So you want to read your oil and see what the flashpoint is, what the temperature, the highest temperature it can go to, and go below that. So in the restaurants, I'm urging you, like, please stop damaging your oil. When you do that, your oil becomes brown and you have to change it faster, but then it also damages the heart of the person that eats the food.
So thank you so much for the lesson. And I know where to call. I'm glad you're on the show, so now I know where to get the food from.
But the point I wanted to make though about KFC is St. Kitts is the only place I know where the KFC doesn't have a local twist. Meaning, if you look at the menus, pretty much any country that has its own cuisine. There's always, it's always represented on the KFC the KFC menu. And so I think if you can get breadfruit, fries,
to KFC's defense and other things, again, you don't have a lot of manufacturing besides Nova Food. That was when we went. I don't know if you remember the Conkles and stuff.
Of course, I remember them.
But besides,
you think I'm that young? Thank you.
But besides them, we don't do a lot of commercial food manufacturing on a big scale, and so you have to get certification because KFC is like a franchise and it's globally known. You can't just walk in and give it to them. So your factory and stuff, you have to be certified. There's such things as HACCP certification. Okay, I said we didn't have manufacturers. I'm lying. We have the breweries, bottling company. Those are certified, so their stuff can sell in a lot of branches and franchises and so forth. So once we go and we get that certification, we've already spoken to them at KFC. They have no problem doing it, but it's more of a technical and legal thing.
Yes,
so I'm
definitely.
encouraging Kittitions. This is where we have to educate ourselves.
I'm glad you said you mentioned the legal things, because it's not just easy, because they will have certain things that they would have to adhere to.
Yes.
Certain things that would prevent them from engaging, and because at the end of the day, it has to have that KFC brand.
Exactly.
Yes. So there are some regulations.
KFC is fighting local people. Let's not run with
let's
that.
not. So
we as local have to come up to that
and we don't
standard.
know, when Jamsa made that statement, we don't know the arrangement between that franchise, KFC, and the company that has the franchise.
Company, exactly.
So it might be in Jamaica. We don't know. The Jamaica might have a KFC outlet, but you realize the franchise is in the States. And they have to operate to keep the brand.
Guidelines. So I think in Dominica, it was St. Vincent. It might have been St. Vincent. They actually had breadfruit fries on the KFC menu already.
So we don't know what arrangements they had. They
probably just had the certification.
So another thing I wanted, just briefly, on Patty's show, yesterday I found it very weird, interesting. Let me say interesting that a caller called in and said that I was defending the minister early to that. Yes. I said, what? I said, then listen to the island tea then. They said I was defending the minister strongly as a potential competitor to the minister. Anyway, I just wanted to make that comment.
Your hair is looking really nice.
Thank you so much.
That's the response to that comment.
So guys, those are persons who listen to that comment, please listen to the show. I try to give constructive criticism where possible. So just listen to the show.
What did I miss?
Someone was saying that I was praising the minister yesterday, the minister of sports yesterday on the show.
Okay. You have to understand, some of these people live in an alternate reality, right? Like they have a wormhole in their bedroom somewhere where they have an alternate version of St. Kitts or something on the other side. I don't know.
When were happening. Someone brought it to my attention. I had to say, what? And I did speak to the person who gave a response. Yeah, but I was like, wow, somebody could really take what you say and twist it so much that they twist it really out of context to the point of misrepresentation.
But they have this thing, like, you can talk to somebody and you can give them information, but you cannot control the way they understand it.
Yeah.
And I find comprehension is a major problem here.
That reminds me, sometimes, let's say maybe Biden gives his State of the Union address. Hold on, just one sec. And you hear the people on Fox and you're wondering what they were watching. Like, they're watching some alternate reality version of the same speech.
That's what I'm saying.
Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'll catch you first this morning.
Yes.
I am glad that you have someone there. She's a chef.
No, sweetheart.
Highlighting the great food.
She's a Renaissance woman.
Yeah.
What I cook, no.
But I'm not hearing her too good. I don't know. Something about Win FM. I can't hear one or two of you good.
Oh,
The
gosh.
volume may up. I don't know why. But I'll hear one good.
Mhm.
Oh.
Nothing is wrong with my phone. Let me say this.
Yes.
The agriculture department promised some years ago to develop a breadfruit industry. And by now we should have had a lot of trees that would have been bearing. But I don't know what happened. It never seemed to come off the ground. But I just go back a little bit on history. According to the history book, they say that Captain Bligh brought the breadfruit from the South Pacific, to be specific, Tahiti, French colony. And they brought it in to supplement what they were using to feed the slaves. But I believe that they did not. They never ever tell anybody the other side of the breadfruit. Because, I mean, we used to call it slave food and, as like somebody else said earlier, pig food. Don't call it pig food, something like that. But breadfruit always been so nutritious and nice and satisfying and energizing. And people love it in different stages. Whether some people want it young, cooking rice. But I don't like it that way. I like it when it's full. All right. You do many different things with it. And I really enjoy it. And I realize there are different species of it.
Yes.
And I learned that they have in St. Kitts, there are about 9 to 10 different species of it. And depending on where it grows, the texture is different. I know that for sure. I call it from the Challengers area. We have a few trees around with a very nice eating.
I have to check Challenges.
I say all of
then.
that to say, I am glad now you're highlighting the value of it, the nutritious value. I mean, not just for taste, but and it could be done. Well, I live with people who are chefs and stuff, who know a lot of things about food. But so I'm very appreciative, and I myself like food. I like to cook too. But I say all of that to say, the Chinese some years ago were doing a lot of research, not only for medicinal value. They were using the inner part of the breadfruit, what we call the heart. But I don't know if you know. If you cut across the stem, you will see what's supposed to be a letter. And the letter is C. But my father is the one who showed me that. And he said, the C means either celestial or Canaan fruit. Just give you a little bit of information there.
Thank
but
you so
I
much.
like to hear
into
about
that.
the breadfruit. So
Yes.
I just give something to chew on and to think about.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I want to also we have in studio as well Michelina, Miss Charles-Hazelle. I say Mills because I know Mills so much from when I was in high school. So we have MCH in the studio. MCH, how are you doing?
I'm lovely. It's quite an enjoyable morning. I say I didn't get any waffles, so I'm a bit pleased about that. I am fantastic. It's been a really good morning, a special good morning to everybody out there. I didn't get any waffles, so I'm a
No,
bit
one for
pleased
you.
about that.
You can have one.
Yeah, so
can
it's
have
it's
one.
two.
Okay, I want my own.
We're not.
waffle.
Yeah, we're not
No,
giving.
he had his own.
We're not giving Chev any.
Jamster had his already.
Yeah,
so
Chev is
it's
not
three
getting
that's
any.
in here.
I'm just a little bit.
She's a
of
sauce. She doesn't need any.
just
I
a
don't
little
think
bit
so.
of
You
I'm a
can
bit
have-
salty. But good morning, and it's lovely to be in studio and to hear about the nutritious value. You know, everybody on Island Tea brings a very different perspective and spice. So to have that health and nutrition, and I've been watching this show. You have been doing an excellent job, Siobhan.
Oh,
Right.
I am sure the audience is loving it.
Oh.
Yes, and it's so fantastic to have a variety of, female co-hosts here. You have Michelina, you have Chev, and then you have Kortensia. We had Candacia, and so Candacy. So it's just a wide variety. It's been really good to have the different persons and the different personalities. Yes,
For real.
mm-hmm.
No, I really I can't put too fine a point on this.
What's that?
The health promotion unit, the nutrition promotion unit, they really need to do something about. I was telling them before you came, Mishi, that I find that the kids coming up now,
Mm-hmm.
they have contempt for the local food, like things like sweet potato and breadfruit and you heard the comment, pig food. So yeah, there's a lot of that.
You hear that on what you call it, TikTok now?
Yeah.
Is TikTok you hear it on?
No,
Actually,
I've heard people say
The
that.
pig
Yeah.
food concept is from the older folks.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
they felt
And-
it was to feed the slaves.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
It
yeah.
started off with a lot of that stuff is the only stuff we could afford, the only stuff that the planters would give us
So
to eat.
people they really bringing down the breadfruit?
Yeah, you
Breadfruit
got some
and
people
everything
will
else.
not
Oh,
eat
wow.
breadfruit.
They say, "Oh, I don't eat bread." Yeah, turn their noses up and so on. And,
crazy.
and the kids are more enamored with the stuff that comes out of the supermarket,
course,
whether it's the fruit or the
yeah.
juices, the imported juices and all that stuff.
And that's the
And
thing.
Health promotion unit needs to do something about that because
Yeah,
you know.
like breadfruit has more is healthier, is a healthier option than just eating
it's
the
actually
bag of-
healthier than the potato.
It's a wonderful
than the
alternative.
Irish
Than the Irish
potato.
potato,
Mhm.
Yeah, and
No
imagine
chemicals.
imagine all the rice that we consume.
Mhm.
Everywhere you go is rice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really, rice is cheaper to produce in
But
terms of.
even, yeah.
But it's when it comes to the breadfruit, it has to me more nutritional value, nutritional value.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
thi- it's just culture again, and this is why we decided to take what we have but put it in a form that is familiar to their palate. I can't go and mash some breadfruit and just give them like that. We have to almost like reclaim what we've lost
yes,
and bring it forward.
And the thing too, I do a lot of culinary recombination, meaning, okay, the mashed breadfruit is something that we've always done. But for example, when I mash the breadfruit, I add some olive oil, the milk, the butter, so a dusting of rosemary. So you bring in all the other elements that.
you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about.
I saw the look. That's why I started to laugh.
You just have to hear about it. You can't experience it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot we can do with our local
Yes,
food that
very
we're not
much so.
doing, and I think it starts with maybe just making. I mean, grapes are fine. I love grapes, but
But
sometimes we
grapes
get.
go here. People.
Yeah, there's a
we
guy.
don't
That
know.
guy in Sandy Point. We went by him one time.
But in Sunny Point, they
Yes.
always had people. My neighbors had grapes. They go so big, they were pulling on the fence. You always have to be trimming it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
But grapes go very well here.
and strawberries and all those things
Yeah.
that we think can't go here. I've been up to Green Hill and I've seen raspberries up there.
Yeah.
You know.
So I got a message here and it says look for this helmet on Super Bowl Sunday. So it's
Oh,
the
somebody sent that
helmet.
to you too?
Yes, it's the helmet of Joshua Williams. Joshua Williams has roots from Molyneux. We
Yeah.
had an interview with him
Oh.
just last year.
I played for his party when he was here.
Oh,
didn't
I think
tell
you,
you?
I think you did say.
I'll
I
tell
think you
y'all,
said
yeah.
Yeah. So, Akitician will be a key player in the Super Bowl for the second year in a row. He plays for the champions and wears our flag on his helmet. Yeah.
I
Wow.
think it's out there now.
But do you know there was a petition on the other team last year too? A lot of people. Remember I was telling y'all?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did. You
yeah,
did. Yes.
There was
Mm-hmm.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like as Kititians, though, we could be a little bit more boasting with these things. Like,
Yeah.
it's happening. We have a lot of Kititians out there. And we just like, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries would be like milking that.
Yeah, very much so. Yes. So we have 8:30. It's also, we talk about Love Month, but it's also Black History Month. And
Yes, it
so we're going to have a
is.
15-minute
Oh.
segment with some Rasaya. and some others. We're going to talk about
Lord,
some
y'all
black
gonna go
history.
Wake up the rebel in me now.
Yes. Oh, so we have 3 minutes until it's that time. So we could do a little chit chat until then. So I was looking into the news, and we have, I've seen, Vincy Mass 2024 promotion at Trinidad Carnival. Grenada is at 50. And here they said drone show tops independence celebration. So they had their drone show as well. And here we have St. Vincent man gone down in Green Hill. Not good news at all. And also he says that the Paris Olympics medals are made with pieces of the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
Yeah. I was looking at this, and it was saying, 10 great jobs for medical professionals in the Caribbean. And they were saying, and they have it based on the country. So they say in Anguilla, psychiatrists. They say here in St. Lucia, pharmacists. They said in Trinidad and Tobago, senior radiographer. So looking
Think it's
into.
not listed.
I'm here looking. Oh, I'm not seeing St. Kitts and Nevis in this article. Yeah. They even have ultrasonographer. They even have senior, and all of this is TNT. This mainly is only TNT. They highlighting mainly. They highlight TNT. They highlight Anguilla. They highlight BVI. Sonographer for BVI as well.
I want us to get to the point where people are so healthy that the medical industry is like 90% cosmetic. We don't think about, I don't want to think about it in illness, but making people look hot. I'll be happy with that.
And I see this article that says King Charles III sends greetings for Grenada's 50th independence. Yes.
You need to send a check.
So he said in his message, King Charles III said, and I quote, "I can only say how sorry I am that I cannot be with you in person to mark this momentous milestone and to enjoy a little oil down with you all. My thoughts are with everyone across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and all those in the Grenadian diaspora. One people, one family. As you celebrate everything you have achieved and all that the future holds." End of quote. And it says King Charles III said, over these past 5 decades, he has watched with deepest admiration as you have built your nation and forged Grenada's distinct place in the world, and as an essential member of our Commonwealth family.
A Caribbean person on the Buckingham PR team now. I didn't know the Royal family was that invested in us. In the
exactly.
Caribbean.
We have a new king around.
You have to remember that them folks are really good at appearing to care.
Yeah, but normally they don't appear. We're not big enough to catch their
Exactly.
eye.
There's that too.
Well, we have King Charles now. Remember,
on the PR team.
Yeah.
And sneaking this.
There's another item he needs to be saying sorry about, and I don't have to say what it is. It's 8:30. We got King. I almost said King Iras. Actually, that Ras means king in Ethiopian. That's what it means. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the break.
Yes.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
You can win more with the Mega Ball. Pick 3 and pick 4, you can get it all.
Yes, playing Pick 3 and Pick 4 with the Caribbean Lottery just got more rewarding. For just an extra $1, increase your winnings by $1,000 with Pick 3 and $10,000 with Pick 4 when you play the Mega Ball.
You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? You ready to win a little extra? Then get on the ball.
Play Pick 3 and Pick 4 with Mega Ball at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 and over to play.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Now what's good for your mistress is awesome.
Special announcement to the Universal Love Mission Intergalactic. Your mission is the preservation of creation. Special request to the Observer Posse, you know. Love stronger than a nuclear weapon. Dread Eye Special Mission reporting to Love Leader 1. Come in, Love Leader 1.
832 Love is out to get you. Also, knowledge of self. We got Ras I here to speak about that topic. It's our Black History Month 2024.
Yes, and I want to tell those persons who are listening, those persons viewing, that we have giveaways during this segment. You know, this is going to be a giveaway segment, so you can win something. Yes. So, Ras, tell us, this is Black History Month. February, we celebrated, you know, we've been talking about Love Month, the month of love, you know, WINNFM celebrating, but it's also Black History, and we don't want to forget that. So, tell us, what is in store with your organization? Tell us about your organization, tell us about your group, and tell us what we have in store for the month.
Give thanks for this occasion that I can be here. And we'd like to say greetings to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider parts of the region and internationally. Listening to WINNFM, as they call it, Island Tea.
Yes, Island Tea.
And we'd like to say thankful for being here at Island Tea. And what we and I are here for is to give a question pertaining for local Black Eye Story. We don't want to indicate the format of history Eye Story because it's our time now to being what we are and who we are and where we're going. So this is why we are here at WINNFM at this time. And we'd like to say thank you to the powers of the Almighty Creator, Kadamai Haile Selassie I, who have able to enjoy and I to bring these things here as a relief for I people at this time, because we realize much of our people don't really have the code to follow what is the ancestral pattern that bring us to what we are and where are we doing here to enhance ourselves from what we see as they call us post-emancipation and going forward other people developing the world. So we have a question here, but I would just like to say within our Nyabingiti Akosi order is not Ras Aya, it's the Nyabingiti Akosi order.
Yes. I'm
just the PRO in that format.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job. If as PRO they're identifying you as the face, you want to that means you're doing good.
No, it's just that I have seen fit into always be on the grounds to make sure things go where it need to be, because some of the other ones them don't able have that time because of the work that they fall within. I don't work for nobody, so I could move anytime I desire. So that's why I always be insistent of being on the front line to carry out that, meaning that the others are not on the front line, but I have the genuine part to do what needs to be done, so we're here to fit it in.
Well, you're doing a good job as a PRO.
Thanks.
Yes. So you were saying that you have some activities this month, right? Tell us.
We have activities commencing from the 18th of February to the 25th of February, and that's why I always use as the Nyabingiti Akosi to look at the last week in February to have a full week to host things that we can generate back to our community, because if we see it fitting that it's time now, we don't just do things for our own, but to do things for the ones who come in after I, so they're able to have some kind of urgency and relief to bring things better than what we have done.
Yes, awesome. So, for those persons listening and you want to win something, give us the question, Ross.
We like to get it.
Yes. So, guys, you've been listening and you've been faithful, and we've seen that the viewership has increased. So, we want to, it's partnership, and we want to ensure that you get something.
Yes, thanks a lot, Brother Azard. And sorry about my manners. I didn't know why I didn't acknowledge my mother's them of creation. So my humble apology, and to Jamster, have my apology to Brother Jamster.
For what?
No, because I acknowledge you as the master of control.
No, that's fine. It's not about me. No.
At least, we have to do it by respect, And that's how we go forward. So, to the royal queens, them, we say thank you for being here with I and I at this present time.
Thank you.
In love and honor, And Brother Jamster and Brother Azard as king and prince,
Yeah, thank you so much.
And all African brothers and sisters. Not even whether you're in Africa or outside Africa, we have to respect all the levels, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Rastafari, however faith you possess, is all unification we're spreading for African unity. Blessed love. Yeah, we'd like to get the question going forward that we see it fitting for people to have a set of information about the local high story. So thankful for the Nayabingi Tiakusia to taking up this initiative to bring a little questionnaire to the areas of Win FM. And the question is, what was the name of the bank that was forerunner to Sinkis and Nevis Angola National Bank, and who were the first founding subscribers of the said bank? That's the question. So remember, you got to give us in a two-part avenues of this answer, please. And you'll be able to have a ticket that indicate you to go at lunch at Azard Creation.
Wonderful. So the question is, you want to read it again?
Yes, I would like to read it again. The question is, what was the name of the bank that was forerunner to Sinkis and Nevis Anguilla National Bank, and who was the first founding subscriber of the said bank?
Okay.
It looks like we have a call already. Caller, go right ahead. Give it a shot.
Well, good morning, Aya, and all the present. It was the Sinkis Industrial Bank.
You must be the one to come and say it.
Hey, you can't this mother creation, you know. And it was Stanley Prokop and Mr. Bridgewater.
You is something else, but give thanks.
Yes.
Yes, sister. Mama Henry,
ask Michelina, the lady, if she wants to give them.
You hit the nail on the head, man. You always coming and batter people forward.
But you see, Lord,
they should have put you in the wicked hole.
You want intelligent wives that women are what?
Yes.
Up to now, I don't object here. I just say you got to be the first one to come in with it.
And brilliantly so, Mrs. Henry. Brilliantly so.
Thanks
it
a lot,
shows
Mama
that she just drop it like it's hot. She knows it,
She's a grenadier, not a bull.
Yes, she has a wealth of knowledge, and we really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. I really thought that we would have been here for a couple times.
When the sister Henry and others who have able to see, these are something that we must able to relate to the general public and young ones who are looking to go into the financial business.
Definitely.
And they can be able to look back at how this institution now built off from what was once called the penny bank at the early stage. See, so I don't bank here, but I just like to say to the people who banking, know what you're doing, because there's a lot of corruption in the system still of the banking institution.
So we're talking about banking and we're talking about Black History Month. When you think about some of the bankers here in Sinkis and Nevis, who comes to your mind? Or persons, financial persons, who come to your mind? Persons who have given to the country in that area.
When I look at some of the format of this banking system, I don't really have to say offhand, but some of the contribution that was made was very brilliant, and seeing that I always find ways and means that when we have discussion, even in the Rastafari community, I have discussion in global Rastafari chats, and I don't make sure I represent on the core of Sinkis and Nevis being a historical format when it comes to economics. Because if it was not, the mother colony of the West Indies would not be pinpoint right here. That's why we could say there's a lot of things we have to really insert ourselves, how to stabilize this economical stability and the grounds of our people, so we can able to develop together, and that some developing and others are undeveloped. when it comes to financial growth.
Yes. Yes.
Agree.
Yes. So we are here. It's Black History Month, and we want to say, we want you to recognize that we are wonderful people, and that we've made so many contributions to the world, and we continue to make these contributions. And so we want to say thank you to the Nyabingi. I was trying.
Nyabingi Theocracy Order.
Yes.
Yes, the Nyabingi
Theocracy Order. Yes.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for being a part of the show, and we're going to have them for the rest of the month. They're going to come in, they're going to talk, they're going to engage, and they're going to have giveaways.
And
So
we just want to add, we have a team for our week activities, and this is how the team that we have suggested to work with. Our redemption begins with knowledge of our Black eye story. That is our team for 2024, and we always find the ways of putting these teams the other way of educational, because let me look at the young generation. I didn't have much time. I used to run from school, may I be frank. But when me look at it, the elders them who I went around, they always tell me, learn to have some kind of pride within yourself and integrity. So I gravitate by reading to bring us to a betterment than what we had before. So even though we not got no bachelors and no BBA and no MBA and all those masters, we have something that called conscious awareness, and that is what we use to open up the minds of our people. Maybe some might not take it like how we like to see it, but the younger ones then in the future will be able to see what we're doing forward for this time.
Yesterday we had Miss Thelma Philip Brown on.
Yeah, Dr. Thelma.
Dr. Thelma, and she was talking about that, the identifying of the self, development of the self. And I agree with what the gentleman is saying, because...
So Ras, I am not gentleman, we ain't in Europe.
Okay, Ras is saying, King is saying. And I've found that when you have, like, sometimes you meet a group of fellas, and I find that we don't be very accommodating to our young men, early teens, early 20s, that sort of way. And you see them and they have on what they call, they have on the mug, the screw face. And a lot of times we take it that it's because they are delinquent. And I've noticed it's because they're scared. And it's because they're very insecure and they don't have a good sense of self. So sometimes I would go up to them and, smile, going my feminine, and they melt right away, and you're like, hi miss, how you doing miss? And then you start telling them about who they are, telling them about the African history, and you see such a change in them. And sometimes they meet you a couple months down the line and, girl, I went to look up that, miss, I didn't know. And they lift their head with a different sense of pride, because if we're going to develop that sense of self on the spiritual end, we can start with our physical, which is the black bodies that we are, the African bodies that we're in, and recognizing our history, how rich it is, how amazing the body itself that you're in is. I don't think we pay attention to that enough. And when you teach these young fellas that, it gives them a different perspective on life. So much respect.
Thanks a lot again for having I here, and I will continue doing much as we could, and we know for the future that where there is a will, yeah? And I always see it fitting that for the activities that we're going forward with from the 18th to the 25th, we are looking for the groundation to start from the 18th. We are going over to the Kayan community, because one of our elders of the Nyabingi Theocracy, they have transitioned, and we just like to go there and give some moral support within the family realms, and let the community of Kayan have a knowledge of what he have contributed to agriculture and all the framework of Rastafari he have lived out through his time. And so we say thank you for his great works in the physical. And then Monday we have a questionnaire going forward, and then Tuesday we're looking at to go to the New Horizon for the institution of the juvenile delinquents as they outline them to be. So we like to use those avenues to give back to the youths them at this time, even though they are in that facility at where they have been misguided. So we were able to give them a sense of urgency of their knowledge and who they are as young black boys and girls in the Isles of St. Kitts and Nevis and in the Caribbean shores. And then Wednesday we got island-wide with the food hamper distribution to the elderly and needy of our island of St. Kitts. But in time we spread it out to need because we have a budget of over the ancestry who do that as a part of their contribution too. And then Thursday, look at the Carding home to visit and just have some Nyabingi chanting in there and give food distribution to the people to give the patrons them their little help within the food safety, you know. Mm-hmm. And then Friday we look at going within the graveside of our fallen martyrs to honor our martyrs who have got paid the will within the Rastafari community. And then the Saturday we look at the Sandipai market to have a little format of poetry and speeches towards Black Eye Story, and it will be indicating where we look at local revenues of the history of St. Kitts and Nevis, and then the Sunday we go to close down the foundation of Nyabingi Isaac. So that commences our week activities between the 18th to the 25th of February. So it's not, when you all say love month, it's I Story love month, you know, black I love, you know, yes. Black I love, but they say black is essence, is that a color, but we say African love then. I eternally give thanks.
Thank you so much. Yes. We're going to take a short break and come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Caribbean tourism is dead in the water and wholly dependent on what's next in the United States, Europe, and Canada.
Global cases have now passed 13 million just 5 days after we hit the 12 million mark.
In Jamaica, residents of the parish of Hanover are in shock over the brutal slaying of 6 family members on Thursday night.
Chauvin had his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in total. It's too much. It's too...
The news does not always have to be about this. There's a lot of good news, good stories, good people, good ideas to talk about. So listen up on Thursdays to Only Good News with your host, Enoite Inanga, from 7 to 8 p.m. It's going to be only good news for 1 hour, where we will share good news from stories and people, locally, regionally, and all over the world. And there's more. You will get to hear from people telling their stories of success, breakthroughs, and perseverance as we feature a special guest each week. It's Only Good News, and it's happening this Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. right after the, regular news. Only Good News on WinFM 98.9 and winfm.com.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
8:49. Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Big ups to the two lionesses on set. Michelina and Chef Rich.
I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of time.
Yeah, so we are back.
Yeah, and guys, are you ready to roll? Or is it lyrics is roar, right? Or roar? Because if lions roar, but is the lyrics roll? It should be
either way.
Okay, hey, no limit then.
What?
The lyrics of this song. Okay,
sing the part.
Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's for better.
Yeah, it sounds good. I had to check the lyrics. You know songs.
Can I just say tune?
Yeah, tune, big tune. You know songs. You hear songs all the time, and then you sometimes wonder, do I really know all the lyrics of this song?
Most times you don't.
Yeah, it's true.
But you ever notice how you'll mishear lyrics, and then when you see, it's like that Daft Punk song, Get Lucky, where it sounds like they're saying, "We're gonna rob a Mexican." Well, actually, we up all night to get lucky. Up all night to some.
Up all night to get lucky.
It sounds like this. We're gonna rob a Mexican. I'm serious. That's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on from robbing Mexicans and
And we're not going to build that wall, Jamster. We're not going to build that wall. Just teasing, So it's a number of things that we could discuss. Also to
I don't know if you guys discussed the Machel entering the Calypso.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we kind of had a sense that he would.
He would.
Yeah, based on that song. That song is a boss song. So
love it. I think he will only uplift the competition and
for real,
bring more attention.
I heard it's one song though.
Well,
yeah, that's what I heard. I'm not sure, but when I asked someone in Trinidad, they said one song. I was wondering if they misunderstood what I asked.
I think it has been. I don't want to misspeak, but I think for some time, I think one song they had introduced that even at a time during COVID, I think so.
Yeah, just one year. They'd go back and forth depending on and you got this sense that it was depending on what the budget would allow.
Yeah. So definitely, that should be very interesting. Trinidad has some good calypsonians. There's some heavy hitters.
Chevich, thanks for bringing up Machel because you give Azard half a chance. He'll talk wall-to-wall politics.
I could talk to calypso too. I think maybe sometimes. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I'm here looking for it. So
that'll be good. So this song is there. You have it?
Of course, I've been playing it for 2 weeks now.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. But you were off. You were off for that week.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yes.
Born around 1974 to a mother named Calypso, Junior appeared to be so much more. Over the years he began to grow, but like his grandfather Pacalinda and grandmammy Sweet Cariso, the family traits of little boy soca could I never hide me just so. He is the head of the fetting class, the heart of the carnival. He's the jumping legs in the mass, the waistline causing bacchanal. A mother's child feet just cannot hide, and this everybody know. If you look real deep down inside, soca is the soul of calypso. Let me hear you. Calypso is soca, and soca is calypso. Sister Chutney and brother Raga, also born here in Trinbago. So you don't have to look no further. I'm sure everybody don't know. If one spirit in child and mother, soca in the soul of calypso. Let me hear you. Rampa-dam-pa-dam-pa.
No, that's a boss composition because the soul of Calypso is the name of the track, and you realize how he personifies Calypso as the parent, and soca as the and the soca siblings. So you have soca, you have rapso, you have raga, you have
and the beats and the music. Wow.
And
go ahead.
It's like I remember I decided I was gonna sing calypso. I changed my mind because I was actually gonna do it on a more Afro-centric beat, and I was like, they're ready for this because they're gonna tell me that it's not calypso, but it actually is because if you look at the history of calypso, I'm actually look it up to
those beats.
But it comes from the tradition of what they call a griot, and it was a West African character. And they sang news and social issues and different things. They presented it in song. It's an African tradition to do that. So the roots of calypso is actually West African griot, they call them, culture. They pass on the history and stuff through song.
Yes.
So, it's much deeper than we think.
Yes. But this song it sounds really good. I mean, he's good. He's good. Sometimes persons can't go from one to the next, but he's showing that he's versatile.
Yeah, I like that he said he wait a hit calypso. Wait for people to tell him.
Yeah, and listen, it hits all the.
This is sound good.
It hits all the touchstones that make a great calypso. Cause it's a very traditional.
The melody, nice.
Yeah, very traditional melody, traditional music, but at the same time still has a modern twist. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the crown.
I think so because and just to show you even what you embody, how it comes off in the world. I was listening to the performance and he was crystal clear. And then after him, some other performers came and the mic saying,
yeah.
And I'm like, because that's Machel. Because Machel, you could never have that happen in a Machel performance. You want all hell break loose. But it shows you that, you know, and again, that he says, I wrote a hit song. This is something that we as current people need to do more, to be more confident and embody that confidence and gone with it, you know. They would have never made that mistake, and he said.
Imagine he coming and competing down here, jams with that song. But sounds really nice.
Yeah, but the thing is, down here, sometimes I don't know what's going on with the judging because I always
says a calypso judge.
Yes, says a calypso judge. I'll give you an example. I always say, and I've said it in the workshop more than once. David Ruddock won the crown with the Hammer and Bahia Girl back in the day, right? I think in the 80s or something like that, or early 90s, whatever. And if he was in St. Kitts, if he had sang those songs in St. Kitts, he wouldn't even made finals. So,
yes,
it shows,
and you know,
it shows that probably we're not as. I'm not saying we don't do a good job from time to time, because there have been times when we've had to judge maybe songs that won in Trinidad the year before, and it turns out, and after this, oh, you guys did a pretty good job. But there is still something. There's still something going on with our sensibilities in terms of how we process certain forms, lyrically.
New things.
Music,
yes. So
but you see, I think a lot of times we expect the calypso that is, you know, heavily critical as it relates to situations that are happening, current affairs, as it ought to be, and most likely. And a calypso like this speaks to maybe like the history of calypso, the development of music and stuff, the birth of soca and everything like that, and the way in which he captures it in the beat, in the melody, you know, and the rendition is, you could hear his words, and of course it's recorded, so you could change and make sure that you hear his words, you know. But I think it sounds to me very catchy. I want to now go when we're finished and to listen to this song again.
Yeah, let's take this call. Call, go right ahead. It's 8:58.
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
I always wonder how the young people now relate to calypso. I know when, for instance, I was growing up, even though you had those big names like the Beatles and Elvis Presley, I mean, that dates me, but you know what I mean. Calypso we were still passionate about our calypso. And one of the things that calypso always did was the storytelling and the dancing. Okay? We were able to distinguish between the two. So, for instance, you wouldn't normally dance to a calypso like The Slave from Sparrow, but you'll dance to one of the road matches, any one of the road matches. Okay? I think that distinguishes calypso from the rest of music. But I wondered if the young people now can relate to that, and how do they relate to those vintage calypsos, those traditional calypsos that we had. I mean, the one you just played, for instance, that sounds more traditional than anything else.
Yeah, and he has a nice dance beat too.
Yeah, the traditional song was jiggy. Like, I find, oh God, they're going to hate me now. But some of these new calypso kind of...
I was wondering too, guys. I know, just when we get accustomed to a female host, I mean, you change on us. I mean, we had Candice, then Kortensia, then Michelina, and now it's Chevy Rich.
They haven't gone anywhere.
At least you're
They haven't gone anywhere.
consistent.
They haven't gone anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Kortensia is going to be back. Don't worry.
I was wondering, I mean, at least you're consistent. I like your taste. I mean, all of them are smart and beautiful and accomplished. But I just wondered why you guys are so philandering, you know?
I'm only here for the week, baby. Don't worry.
Yes.
You mean the dumping you already? Oh,
No. I just, I'm just.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kortensia is busy for a few days. So, while she's out, we have Chevrich, and you never know what you're gonna get on Island Tea.
You like variety.
Yes.
Just don't have an orgy. I can't imagine all of them being on the same show together. With regards to what you were talking about with food earlier, if you're gonna be processing the food though, regardless of how nutritious it might have been, don't you lose some of that nutrition? Isn't fresh best?
Well, I like that you said that, because this argument is never ending, right? And even when people say don't have processed foods, I'm like, everything is processed. If you pick the fruit off of the tree and you cut it in pieces, you've processed it. So I like to say don't have overly processed foods or certain types of processing. So not all processing does bad to the food. For instance, if you heat food beyond a certain point, you can destroy certain nutritious elements, certain ones. But freezing, for example, tends to preserve a lot of the nutritional elements in a food. So sometimes with fruits and stuff, they'll tell you it's best you freeze it one time instead of turning it into a jam or whatever. So it's really the process, and it's just a technicality. It's like when people say chemicals are bad, and I'm like, you can't say chemicals are bad. Chemicals.
Everything is a chemical.
Exactly.
A breadfruit is a cocktail of chemicals.
Exactly. So it's just
What about
language.
What about drying though? Does drying?
Drying is another thing. Like, it depends again on temperature, and it depends on the particular food. So you have what you call dehydrators that dry it at a low heat, very low heat, and for a longer period of time. And then you can have those who just put it in something that totally bakes it. So that would destroy. And again, it doesn't destroy everything in the food. Things like vitamin C are more sensitive to heat. But then there are certain things like minerals that we don't ever talk about, and most people are deficient in minerals. Minerals tend to stand up, so because they're a little more inorganic. So it
because
depends.
When you look at, for instance, tea leaves, tea, you wonder if it's better to just draw the tea when it's just picked, as opposed to drying it and putting it in a bag.
Well, it depends again, because most teas should be, if they're in a dehydrator, it doesn't tend to damage it too much. But most teas are just left and they're air dried. Leaves dry very quickly on their own. Things like moringa, you get it becomes more concentrated after it has been dried. So it depends on the plant again and what you're looking for. So I normally recommend to people, be varied in the way you have it. I have moringa as tea. I have dried moringa. I cook it sometimes, and that way I'm ensuring that I'm getting the full nutritional content to the food. Have it in different ways.
And so I should say something about tea. Now remember, TEA, tea is a specific plant. It's just that we tend to, a lot of times when we say tea around here, we're referring
like flour.
to
Flour means wheat, but it has a lot of different types of flour.
Like when we refer to tea, a lot of times we're talking, lemongrass is really an infusion. It's not tea. It's not tea proper. It's TEA is a plant, and the way it's processed, it's fermented. So the most popular one is a black tea. That's the one that you would buy, and then green tea, then and
green tea.
Green tea where it's not fermented. They just dry it without fermenting it, but that is loaded with antioxidants and stuff. So.
And fermentation again is another process. It's a process as well. It preserves the food, but it also allows a lot of the food to be even more bioavailable, because once the bacteria breaks it down, it's basically absorption for you. So it's not, processing in itself is not a bad word.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing to point out for a lot of people, tomatoes are one of the foods that it actually becomes more bioavailable by cooking it.
Yes.
And tomatoes have monosodium glutamate naturally, and people tend to give monosodium glutamate a bad rap, not realizing that the tomato is responsible for flavor enhancement in a lot of cuisines. Italian cooking.
And you ever made
that's
a
the same
tomato
thing as
sauce?
salt, is it?
with tomatoes.
No,
fresh tomatoes.
monosodium. Monosodium glutamate. That's what gives the Japanese. We have to thank the Japanese for the umami. Yes, I was just about to say. We have to thank the Japanese for adding another flavor profile to what we were taught in school, which is what salt, sweet, bitter. What's the other one? Sugar. So umami is the other one, and that tomato goes a long way to doing that. That's what the Japanese call umami.
Okay.
Yeah,
and a lot of foods again need that processing, because with a lot of beans and so forth, we normally think of cooking it. Cooking is processing the food, right? So it's just the way you think.
Right.
But in addition to cooking it, we really should soak it ahead of time, which is also a form of processing it. Once you touch and you handle the food, as far as I'm concerned, you're processing it.
Well, when we think of processed food, though, we think of adding salt and
we should say overly processed foods and
the
specific,
snacks that we normally have, which they always say is unhealthy. That's I think what most people think of when we talk about processed food. But I'm with you with the breadfruit. We should be loading our guts with breadfruit trees and use it as an alternative to potatoes, white potatoes, and rice.
For real.
You know,
and with the rice, before you
it's
go,
very versatile.
like we often talk about rice a lot, and I don't come defending rice and saying that it's the type again, the type of rice. Because I buy organic rice if I have too much of the regular rice, especially with the one named par excellence. If I have par excellence twice in 1 week, I get bloated and I don't feel well. If I have organic rice, and rice has so many varieties
and
from black to red to
the
everything.
brown
organic rice. What about the taste?
Organic, it tastes good. I have the one I prefer is the what do they call it? The jasmine. It has
jasmine rice. Yeah.
Rice comes rice like people.
Yeah,
rice comes in so
bland,
many varieties.
anyway,
No,
and then you have when I was looking at nutrition and eating. You have the white and you have the brown rice, and they said the brown rice is a lot healthier than the normal rice that we
and
take.
for some people, they hate the brown rice. If you get the basmati brown rice, it's a little bit more delicate. And it depends. You soak your brown rice ahead of time as well. It cuts cooking time in half. And some brown rice cook quicker than others.
Yes.
So it's really, to me, food is that frontier that we have left ourselves out of. It's fun. It's about exploring different flavors.
And we are what we eat, so let's eat healthily.
Quite literally.
Yeah. Well, write a book. Very, very informative, though. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, let's take a break. It's 9:08. We'll take a quick break and come back.
No problem.
I guess when we come back, we could remind them about Love Week next week.
Yes.
This Valentine's Day, be love and let it shine for all to see. With beautiful, hand-finished gifts from Pandora Jewelry, give them a piece of your heart with styles full of radiance and romance, iconic heartfelt symbols, and lockets of love for every kind of forever. Make every day together a gift. Be love. Shop Pandora Jewelry today.
Noble Jewelers on Port Zante, across from Rand's Smoke and the Booze. Roses are red, violets are blue. Valentine's Day is coming and Chop Shop is waiting for you. Let our team work their magic so you can dazzle your sweetheart this February 14th. We'll pamper you from head to toe so you look fab and feel amazing. Get a full-body couple Swedish massage for EC $250 plus VAT, or an indulgent pedicure experience for two for $175 plus VAT. Our vouchers are still available and can be used until the 30th of April. This Valentine's Day, fall in love with yourself all over again. Book your Chop Shop appointment now and get ready to strut your stuff. Call 667-7243 at Port Zante, 661-7243 for Frigate Bay, 662-7246 for Nevis, or 662-7246 for Nevis. Don't get Photoshopped, just get Chop Shopped.
Your horse with Value Mart IGA specials.
Running January 25th to February 7th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tax specials. Ocean Spray Cranberry Raisins, $10.99. IGA Anti-Central Everyday Cocktail and Dry Roasted Peanuts, $12.99. Lender's Bagels, $12.99. Tostina's Party Pizza, $9.99. Kraft Barbecue Sauce, $7.49. Purex Liquid Detergent, $15.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals! Starter Kiss Tuna, $3.99. Hunt's Diced Tomato, $6.49. IGN Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese, $2.99. Mott's Applesauce, $13.79. Nabisco Ritz and Cheesecake Crackers, $14.99. Equaline Mouthwash, $10.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, dale mi Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart!
Once again, I gotta say thank you to Chef Rich because I'd much rather be playing music than running my mouth. But so thanks to Chef Rich for mentioning Mashell. So got an excuse to play Mashell.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I got a chance to listen to that new Calypso, which is really wonderful. So it is.
So he says.
Yeah, I like Calypso. I like Calypso music. Yes.
Okay, so what's on there? Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. Okay, so would you guys? So you guys say Sharon is going to join us at 9:45.
9:45. So we're going to be talking about what is going to be happening on Monday. And Sharon is going to join us, and she's going to speak towards that as it relates to what is happening. And of course, Michelina and I, we did a little ad for Love Week, and I haven't heard it yet. And so I guess it'll be out, so persons could listen to it, highlighting Love Week for what it is here at Win FM and the benefits and the chances to win prizes. Because Win FM, you'll be able to win private prizes from Win FM. And here looking at WINNMedia SKN, and then here looking at one of the videos that, Vaughn Anselm did when it comes to, and he says soil erosion at Penny's Beach, Nevis, and he has a video of it. Very interesting. Yeah, so we have a number of things, and I know Love Week, it's next week, but I just before he comes on, he says, grand prize, 2 nights, 4-season resort, Nevis, breakfast inclusive. He also talks about how to play. You like and follow WINNMedia SKN on Facebook. You follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, go to our page, www.win with 2 N's, mediaskn.com, and fill out the survey. And when you go on the website of Win FM, as soon as you go on it, you'll see the pop-up. Everywhere you click, you'll see the pop-up again, so you can't miss it. You just got to go to Win FM and look at the website, and you have a chance to win. You have a chance to win a night for 2. So don't allow that opportunity to pass you by. Don't allow that opportunity to pass you by at all. And interesting, I'm here looking at the Win FM news, and it says Minister of Agriculture defends himself and his ministry, and this is from written by Yolanda Weeks, and it says Minister of Agriculture Samuel Duggins has come under scrutiny by ex-Prime Minister and the former Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, who believes that Minister Duggins lacks the wherewithal to run his ministry effectively. And he says, despite support given to farmers across the country, some farmers in St. Kitts do not feel that the Ministry of Agriculture is doing enough to address their concerns. And he says here, Harris at his press conference on February 1st said the farmers need to unite and take protest action to solicit improvements. Yeah. It goes on to say that on February 3rd edition of Inside the News, Minister Samuel Duggins took the opportunity to defend himself and his ministry. And this is a quote. He says, "This has never been done this quote goes on to say, this has never been done in a very structured way, to have a very structural approach to agriculture. And this is a quote from the minister. He also goes on to say, it has never been done before, so it is new to a lot of farmers. But at the same time, while this has never been done before, you have political players that are trying to create noise within the industry. Like I heard a comment from the former prime minister talking about agriculture, and I am thinking to myself, this man was a minister of agriculture. He was the prime minister over the last 7 years, where you don't know a plan for agriculture. In 2019 and 2020, farmers protested against his government. This is a government that has been in government from 2015, which means 4 to 5 years in government, farmers were still protesting. So these are the realities that we are talking about. For someone like him to be making these comments, it begs a question, because I'm like, your tenure as Minister of Agriculture is on record, and the agriculture practically died during your era is on the record. And that was expressed by the Minister Samuel Duggins. And so, yes, Ministry of Agriculture and also the Ministry of Sports, under both portfolios that have been held by the minister, has been under heavy criticism, very heavy criticism, as it for the days past. Yes. So Minister Duggins is in the hot seat, and a lot of persons have been talking about his ministries and the way in which he is handling these ministries. Let me see what else is on the WINFM page. I note that because it was one of the first things that jumped out to me as I looked on the Facebook, not the Facebook, the WINFM page. So I note that he's under heavy criticism. It also says that 19 island constables sworn in by Dame Marcella Librod. 19. Yes, so we want to let me look to see if we could highlight the names. Well, they don't have the names of the individuals, but that's good. Island constables being sworn in, and that's 19. So we talk about crime, and so we have more persons being sworn in as island constables in, I guess, an effort to address what we have.
Okay, we have some calls coming in. Let's see what's on these people's minds. Caller, go ahead. Island T.
Yeah, good morning, man. Yeah, good morning to everybody. Real quickly, right? Azard, I just want to say something to you. Because yesterday you say you heard me talking on another show, right? So
no, not you. On
another.
Not you.
Yeah, I heard. Oh. This is gonna be something important for you.
Oh.
I heard that you sent in a response to.
Oh yeah.
On another show last night.
Yes.
And it's pertaining to the agriculture issue you just brought up. So I just want you to clear up yourself too, man. You understand? Try to clear up yourself, man.
Yeah, I did so earlier. At the start.
Oh, okay, great. Okay,
yeah.
Got you. That was good.
Yeah, because
I like that you did that. I wasn't listening earlier, so I just wanted to give you a little support there. You know what I'm saying? You know, set the record straight, because somebody was accusing me of saying something, and you had to send in a text or something last night.
Yes.
So I was happy you did, because I was listening to you guys yesterday, and. Me myself was trying to, make sure you clear yourself up. That's all. You understand?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, when I started this show, I mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Can I say something?
You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks.
So, as somebody who is in agro-processing, and who is very health conscious, right?
Yes.
When I hear these arguments. This is one of the
which arguments
that agriculture in St. Kitts needs help, and yes, the minister probably is not doing a good job. To me, no minister has done a good job. So what really irks me sometimes is when politics hijacks important conversations, and when you look at their health, when you look at how many people in St. Kitts have cancer, how the children act, and the food is a direct cause of that. The fact that the cost of living is so high because we buy everything Men and I can say here, men and women are prostituting themselves just to afford to live. We need, this is not, he said, she said, and blame. Everybody is wrong. And it's not just the government. Kitchens have to understand, we have a very bad attitude when it comes to agriculture. Not maybe not go plant nothing. When we were in school, they told us, do your schoolwork because you have to work in the fields. They made working in the fields like the lowest of the law. So a lot of the things we have to revamp with agriculture first, before we can even implement any strategy, is the stigma on agriculture. And to recognize that from the soil comes everything. From the soil comes diamond. If you want the hot car, from the soil comes that metal that's in your hot car. The soil is, that's why they call it mother. And we need to change our attitude towards it. And I find as Kitchens, yes, politics is important, but we cop out too much. We don't want to address our bad attitudes to it, and that we don't want to work in the soil, and we just want to look pretty. We don't want to address that. But I want office jobs, and nobody want to go out there and do that. So we run on the political bandwagon, and yes, there's a time and space for that. But agriculture is too important for us to get it lost in politicians' hands. And I don't care who vex, but we have a lot of issues in St. Kitts that need addressing outside of politics.
Word.
And oftentimes when, because when the farmers came here, the consortium, it really wasn't about the politics.
You see how emotional he was?
Yeah, it really wasn't about the politics. They came here. There were a number of persons. Yes, Troy Flanders is a member of the People's Action Movement, a farmer candidate, but he's a farmer. He came here. He didn't come here by himself. In fact, a number of times Troy would have other people here.
Who are also other party supporters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So, and oftentimes I remember at the beginning, because, he's a member of the party that I'm a member of as well. And he would say, he's not coming alone because he doesn't want it to lose the attention that he deserves, and it becomes a political thing.
Yes.
And so I saw how he used the opportunity to highlight a number of issues and brought in persons. We had, I think the president of the consortium is Meshach. And Meshach, everyone who knows Meshach knows that Meshach is a supporter of the Labour Party. He's in fact an executive member of the Labour Party. And he has been on this program. He has been talking about what agriculture needs. And when you hear these persons speak, they speak from an informed position.
Yes.
They come here with their notes.
Yes.
They don't come here just
data.
Yeah, they don't come here just twiddling their thumbs.
This is why I get so upset, because when it comes to politics, we give politicians an easy ride, because it comes down to popularity and who said this about who said that.
And then no one wants to lose favor. Go ahead.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, host and hostess.
Yes, good morning.
Well, I noticed that the weather have changed for some good, and not that it was that bad, but now it's good, and I do hope with the change of the weather that everyone will look to the house and the household and recognize that there will be mold, and there is mold in all the houses because the temperature have changed rapidly over the past couple of days, and now we're going back to a warm climate, and all the dust will be settled and the condensation and so on. So we will definitely get mold. But so concerning the issue of agriculture, one of the main things that we have in St. Kitts that we have to be very careful with is that the politicians are put in a position, and now they are called the boss. And some reason or another that our people look forward to be boss, eerie about big shotted and about high polluted positions. And we are not humble with those positions. And so therefore, I get the impression that when the ministers speak to the farmers know that they are self-employed and they're not looking to anyone for a job. And so they look at the minister as their equal, which in their right they are. And the minister maybe look down on the farmers are probably going to push back.
As you said
that, that's weird because the minister is a farmer himself.
Yeah, but if you listen to the interview, The minister or the PS, one of the two of them, during that interview said that they need to educate. There's an education of the farmers, and I'm thinking to myself, education on the farmers? I mean, there might be, me saying that they don't have all the knowledge.
Listen,
but
the farmers that come here are damn rocket scientists, as far as I'm concerned. All these guys who come in here from the consortium.
They need to
It's a
specify which
thing. I
farmers.
in charge and I lad and I in charge. And so what happened is that the farmer know that he's self-employed. He know that he don't have to say good morning, the boss, and all of that. He know that. And so if you look at somebody at your own equal, you don't talk down or you don't talk up. You talk across.
Yeah.
And if you get talk across, then you will get good conversation because I respect you in your position and I respect you. You respect me in mine.
And when you hear them talk.
Hello?
As I was saying, when you hear them talk, like yesterday, when you heard Mr. Henderson talk, and he was to the point of tears,
Right.
the passion, that is not something that is rehearsed. That is showing you that he is passionate about the job that he does.
Yeah, but that is you see. But at the end of the day, with all these big shotties and all those in charge and self-employed and so on and being boss, that is where you need a mediator between both sides to make sure that you have level playing ground. People, we bypassing each other, we're shooting over each other's head and we're shooting under each other instead of getting the message across to each other what we need to be done.
And they come with their
Those are
knowledge.
the main issues, you know.
They come with their figures. I say, but if I was the Minister of Agriculture, this would have been an easy thing because they come with the research already. So you ain't even looking in for the research because they come with it.
When the ministers of government, when a government administration call you into a meeting, they have the agenda and plan. When you go to a meeting, you have yours plan too. But both of you are not connecting because you are the doer, they are the talker. You are out there in the field farming, they are talking it, and they want to see results, but at the same time, they are not connecting. And the problem is that if we are not connecting, nothing will be done. At the end of the day, this administration could have a full term and nothing done. Justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. And until everybody get off their high horse and start talking to each other rather than at each other, nothing is going to be done.
Exactly.
And I get
agriculture is true, and the lady made a valid point that agriculture get it dead in the classroom of the school by telling them if you don't learn to read, you're going to dig potato, you're going to weed yams, or you're going to cut sugar cane. But those teachers live in cane cutter's house. And teachers live in people who farm and so on property and rent from them.
Yes.
Okay.
And, so I think, I hope I'm not taking up too much
No,
of your
yeah.
time.
We have another
I just
caller,
wanted to draw that
but
to
well
you guys'
said.
attention
Well
because-
said. Well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you for
Thank you so
calling.
much for calling in.
Okay, we lost that. We lost that caller. But yeah, I mean,
You made a valid point.
Yes.
And this is what I am seeing, and perhaps the government or the administration don't see it. It's a lot of promises. Sounds good. But when you look at how many promises have been kept and what has been completed, not many things have been completed,
Okay, caller, you have about 20 seconds. Make it quick. We've got Fireproof coming up at 9:30. Go ahead.
Yeah, my contribution to this agriculture thing, man, is like, we can't sugarcoat this stuff, man. We can't sugarcoat it. It's not happening, man. It's a big disconnect between the ministry and the farmers and those politicians. They really have this elitist attitude, and they're trying to talk them to the farmers now. How could you say the farmers them is not educated? The man is educated in their field, and they have the knowledge and the experience. We need to get it together, man. But my thing is, they're gonna come. Well, the minister said the terminology, right, by 2025. Does that mean January 1st or December 31st? He said that it means December 31st. That is itself got to be cleared up. If I tell you by 2025, I mean January 1st.
Yes.
It's something as simple as that. Got to be cleared up.
Maybe they
But the man got to get they got to get the act together. And the man, we're looking for performance in these jobs, and he's clearly not performing.
Well, call
A
it.
reshuffle is not a bad idea. Thanks
Call
for
it.
that, man.
Yeah, maybe there's another year between this year and 2025. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
But
the only
time
way
is-
that's gonna work.
But the time is December 31st, 2025 is basically 2026.
But the question I have, if we're gonna be doing and bringing on agriculture and doing food locally, who gonna eat it? Locals don't eat local food the way that they think. So we need a public outreach as well, and we need to have a plan. Because you could got all the sweet peppers on island and all the veggies,
But
and nobody eating
as
it
the
all.
minister speaks about the 2025 agenda, we have to look at the fact that the 2025 agenda did not come from St. Kitts and Nevis specifically.
No, it's not.
It's an agenda within the region.
Yes.
So we need a national plan. We need to fit it within what we can achieve here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
And I guess the goal is to cut down imports. When you cut down some of these people, these food are drug, So what happened? The people got you withdraw.
The best thing, I think, listen, all of them come together. The consortium has a wealth of knowledge. They come here prepared. And Chef, you sat here with them. You ain't had no pre-meeting with them before. You sat here like how I come. I don't talk to them before they come here. You understand?
But you see, again, there's a group of people, to me, it's like a virus, who mean that there should be no meaningful discussions. And that's why we're not progressing in certain areas.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we gotta go to the break. 9:31. Fireman is coming around. Let's take a quick break. Hear from Rams.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. You want your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist
And you
it.
can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
Nine 34. Island Tea continues. And it's time for our fireproof segment. And in case you're wondering about the Calypso, that's the soul of Calypso, Marshall Montana. That's the instrumental. You know, you guys know he's entering the Calypso competition this year. Remember, he did that back at age 11, and now he's doing it again at age.
How did he do at age 11?
I don't think he won, but I know he outranked Chalkless that year. I'm serious.
It's like a
that was kind of scandalous at the time.
It's like a consolation prize. Well, I didn't win, but I beat you. Yeah, so we're here. We're back with Fireproof, and we have the officers here with us. and we're going to be having a bit of statistics. We're going to be looking at the statistics over the past year, 2023, and so I'm going to allow the fire officers now to again give more information on the topic at hand.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Fire Sub Officer Blois. I'm here with Fire Substation Officer Mr. Hodge. And I am the person responsible for the statistical data for the fire department. Last show I was here, I basically gave an overview of the fire department per calendar year response during the pandemic, before the pandemic, and after the pandemic, using the calendar year as the pandemic spilled from one year to another year. So we use the calendar year to get our data. Now, today I wish to give an overview of our fire department response in 2023. But before I do such, I'll give a brief comparison from 2022 to 2023 itself. For the St. Kitts division itself, which is all the fire station in St. Kitts itself, we had a 6% decrease. Now, the data that we collect is in 8 categories. We use the structural fire responses. Those are fires that we respond to, such as house fires, kitchen fires, anything that is enclosed in a building itself, we consider it to be structural. Now, we also categorize wildland fires, those fires that they respond to, like bush, grass, and stuff like that. And then we have the motor vehicle accident. Now, those fires are fires with motor vehicles, but not including fire, because we actually categorize motor vehicle fires, motor vehicle accident that includes fires itself. So those are 2 different categories we collect. Now, and there's the next category, which we call other fires. This system that we have here is developed and replicated from a system in Japan. Now, any fire that we respond to that is outside of the realms of structured, wildland, motor vehicle fire and accident, we put them in a category called other fire. So instead of having a long barrage of list of lampposts, etc., whatever we want to do, we put it in other fire and we categorize it there. Now, if we want to kind of pull data from that, we would have the system to pull a particular information, like how much lamppost fire we had, where did we have the lamppost fire, and the parish and stuff like that. So we'll pull the data from our system itself. Now, additionally, we also pull the data of our false calls. We need to know the false calls. How are we doing in terms of the false call? And our data shows that we actually had a 10% decrease in St. Kitts alone in our false call from 2022 to 2023. Now, sadly, Nevis had an increase. Nevis had an increase of 50% in their false calls. Yes, sadly.
Wow. So I remember being a part of the show last year. How many false calls were there in Nevis? I remember it was a low number, because it was a low number.
Yes.
Any extra will make it seem like a
lot number. Yes. Now, in 2022, they had a total of 4 false calls in Nevis. Now, in 2023, they had a total of 6 calls, which represent the 50%.
Yes, you see?
Yes. The percentage is what makes us alarm, but if we see the actual raw data, we will not be so alarmed. But we try to give the percentage so the public can be more cognizant of what they are doing and to become more complacent and not do these things. So, given the number, I'm like, 4 calls, really? Yeah. And you're making it sound so bad? But 4 calls is a lot. Because I think the last time we were here, we were given a data to start collecting the costing it costs the organization to respond to any emergencies.
Exactly.
So we are actually in the process of working on that to have that information available to you.
Yeah. Because when you have these false calls, just to expand on it so persons see it, imagine them getting geared up, having to leave, having to arrive to the place, having to go. And then you realize, well, nothing happened.
And then to add to that, sometimes if the false call might be in the Southeast Peninsula, and then we have to rush back to town or all the way down to Challengers for an actual fire now. It takes away on the response time of the fire department.
Who makes a lot of these false calls? Children?
Lord, if we only knew.
We have a system that we are basically crafting together to get that information out, so we can proceed in prosecution to these individuals.
'Cause growing up, I know some male boys that used to make false calls.
Yes, we recognize the false calls increased tremendously during the pandemic season itself. It was actually, I'm not certain if persons missed seeing the big red machine, so they actually called for frivolous calls to the stations.
Oh gosh. Probably those children who had,
bored and lockdown fever.
Yeah, they're probably bored and they figure that this is the best way to get
Okay,
out.
guys, but let's go back to the stats.
Yes. So federally, we had a decrease of 3% response overall. Now, in federal, we had, out of the 8 data that we collect, the 8 categories, we had a decrease in 5 of them.
Okay.
So that is tremendous work for the country itself. It means now that we are becoming more knowledgeable of the fire department. Now, the areas that we had a decrease federally is structural fire. We had a 25% decrease federally. We had also had a wildland fire decrease, which is 13%. We had a decrease by 20%. Now, we also had motor vehicle fires decreased by 35%. However, the motor vehicle accidents that we responded to increased by 20%. So we respond to more accident, but we responded to less fires that involve motor vehicle accident. Now, structure of our false calls, we had a decrease overall, which is 5% decrease we had from 2022 to 2023. So even though we had the increase in false calls in Nevis division itself, St. Kitts and Nevis combined together, we showed a 5% decrease. Now, let me go a little further now. Now, for our St. Kitts division, out of the total area itself, what we did, false calls were at 36% for last year, which 36 false calls we had, which represent a 7%. Now, we also had fuel spills. Let me go on record to say that we not only collect data for our municipal stations, which is Sandy Point, Bastille, and Tabernacle. We also collect responses for our airdrome field, which is the airport fire station itself. So they had 4 fuel spills responses. That means now that the aircraft may have a fuel spill, so it needs the fire tender to actually wash away the fuel so the aircraft can start. Because once the aircraft start, the heat may get the fuel ignited, and that will cause what we know as a fire. Now, structural response, we had 38 structural responses, which is only at 8% of our overall response in St. Kitts alone. Now, 234 responses in wildland fire, which represents a 49% of our response overall for St. Kitts. Motor vehicle fires, we responded to 10 of them, which constitute at 2% of our overall response. The accident itself, we responded to 6, which only warrants a 1% of our overall responses. All other fires, we responded to 153, which warrants at 32%. So that is the St. Kitts division itself. Now, I'll give you guys the Nevis division itself. Fuel spills and standby, we had none for the airdrome field in Nevis itself whatsoever for last year. Now, the false calls, we had only 6, which constitute to a 10% of the Nevis response. Structural fire responses, we had 5, which constitute a 8% response. Wildland fire, 15, which constitute a 24% of the overall response for Nevis. Motor vehicle accident, Nevis had none. However, they had 3 motor vehicle fires, accident that involved escalated 2 fires. So that constitute a 5% increase of their responses itself. All other fires, they had just 33, which warrants a 53% of their overall response. So this is basically a breakdown of our St. Kitts division and our Nevis division.
Okay, sounds interesting. When you look at the statistics that you have given, you have compared it with the 2022 statistics.
Yes.
What stands out most to you when you do the comparison in terms of positively and also negatively?
Okay, what stands out positively to me is our false calls. We had the decrease in 5%. Now, what that means to me positively as the head of the unit, it means now that our mitigation effort is mitigation effort that we deployed has been working and is working. Now, for Nevis, negatively, it means that they increase, so we have to do more for Nevis itself. Now, what also stands out to me is our motor vehicle fire responses to motor vehicle fire. It means our motorists are basically being a bit more cautious on the road. So they are not colliding with each other. They are not having reckless driving so much. They are there still, but they show a decrease. So it means now that our information that we are here on Win FM, that we are going to the schools, that we are going to different business places, it means our mitigation efforts are doing wonders. What we have to do now is to continue educating motorists, because we see a 20% increase in our accident. Not the motor vehicle fires, but the accident itself. We have a 20% increase there. So we have to continue speaking to our motorists. But our overall responses is 3% decrease federally. So it speaks volume.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to commend the fire and rescue services for what they are doing.
Most definitely.
Definitely. Kudos to you guys.
So it means now that this radio station is reaching the ears of the populace. So as much as we think they are not listening, they are listening to you guys.
Yes,
Nice.
definitely. And they're listening to you guys.
To us.
Yes, to us.
Yes.
Yes, so much, and it's good information here, listening to the statistics. And usually when the statistics are produced, how soon after the year has concluded, statistics produced for that year, the previous year?
Now, basically what we did, we deployed a mechanism within our organization to digitalize our information that we can effectively and efficiently produce this data. Now we have deployed a electronical form to all stations that once they submit their information within that form, we ask them to do it within 24 hours of their response. So basically, by January 1st, by January 2nd, I should be able to collect and provide a statistical overview of our year that we have just concluded. Once the officers input that information correctly and properly.
We're in 2024, so 2023 has passed. Over the last 5 years, right? Looking at the statistics, you've been in that department over the last 5 years?
No, I have not. This is a unit just recently started, just over a year ago.
Oh, over a year ago.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's
Impressed.
good. Yeah. Okay. So
we saw the need. We basically saw the need to have this information because we were basically working blind, for lack of a better word. We were responsive, but we did not know if we were responding good, if we were responding bad. Where do we need to put our fire prevention unit? Where do we need to conversate? What area, what parish, what community, what division we need to start communicating with to start mitigating against these fires, against these false calls.
Let me ask you a question. Like down by the Old Road division.
Yes, I know the Old Road question is going to come.
How are we looking down there?
How are we looking down there for the Sunny Point division? Now, you're in Old Road, so we'll have to go to the Sunny Point division.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, you're
I just being devil's advocate.
Yes, I know. And
I name it the Old Road division, but I just being devil's advocate.
So, as Mr. Azard clearly indicated, that we are now speaking of the Old Road division, which is located in Sandy Point. Now, Bastia, that has a larger district than the Old Road division, you guys responded to one wildland fire less than Bastia. One.
Okay.
For 2023. Now, the Bastia district, which encompasses Southeast, like Mr. Hodge just clearly stated, St. Peter's, down to Stonefort, which is by Consummation area, and straight around to Keon by the Winslow University there. All of that is Bastia district itself.
That's a good one.
That's a vast amount of area to cover for one station.
Yes.
Now, they responded to 81 bush fires itself, or wildland fires.
Yes.
Now, Sandy Point district, the Old Road division is from right there by Consey, go around to Diet Bay. Is Diet Bay right? Diet Bay. Now, that area there is the Old Road division, as Mr. Azard clearly stated. They responded to 80 wildland fires. So, Mr. Azard, it means that your community effort needs to increase.
Probably I need to go on the ground.
Yes.
Yes.
Your presence needs to be felt.
Wow, it's 80. Wow. Wow. Do we know what might have contributed to, especially looking at the land size and the area, what might have contributed to that being so on par with Bastille, considering Bastille is such a large one from Stone Fort, go to the southeast peninsula, back down to Cayon.
Including St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
Now, one of the things that we looking at as well too, where the fires occur. Now, looking at the data itself, we recognize that the Olo division, like you said, is that it has majority of unoccupied areas. So it is more free for for individuals to be friendly. Now, within the Basti division itself, is more developed. So there's limited areas to have these wildland fires itself, but we still have them. Now, wildland fires is basically like up at Kim Collins Highway, we know that is an annual season, annual fire for us. Now, in the Olo division, you have a lot of undeveloped areas. Let's talk around by the Coconut Walk there, around by Cooper's area. Let's talk around just behind the boatyard area there. There's a lot of undeveloped areas.
And if I may chip in to assist Mr. Blaise with the response, what happened in those rural areas, it's a lot of farming. So persons have farms, persons may light something on their farm, and then it spreads outside of the farm, and they have to call the fire department to assist them in controlling it. So it's just okay, yeah. So it's like the area is smaller, but because this person might want to clear the farm and that one clear the farm, it amounts to just about the same. So, in my closing, I would just like to say thanks to Mr. Blaise and the statistics department for coming out with us today and sharing the stats so that the public could hear what is going on within the fire department. But as much as there is a decrease, I still think that it is too much fires for a small federation. So I think better can be done. Mr. Blaise, do you have anything to share in closing?
Yes, yes, it's too much fires for a federation itself because federally we responded to 562. That was our overall response in 2022. Wow. 2023 we responded to 543. So yes, Mr. Hodge is totally correct that it is too much fires. So I want to implore the populace that we need to do more to mitigate against these fires. So that is my closing.
Yeah, and I love how you use the statistics and the information and analyze the situation, especially putting it in context and the way you brilliantly informed us of how that smaller area might have comparatively the same number of fires as a larger area because of the built up and stuff like that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you and the work that you do. Continue to do the job that you're doing, continue to keep us safe, and for those who might slip and fire may start, keeping those safe as well. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
9:55. We got Love Week coming up next week. You know, it's not only Black History Month, it's also Love Month, and we got Love Week here on Win FM. And we have the big boss.
Yes.
The shining one.
Mm-hmm.
So she's here to talk about Love Week.
Yes. The woman behind WINNMedia.
Okay, it's making me blush. I feel special today.
You know, we have to make sure you're comfortable here on the island tea.
It's weird. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're talking about Love Week, and so tell us more about Love Week and what to expect.
So from the 12th, which is next Monday, to the 16th, we're sharing the love on Win FM with our partners and sponsors. So some people celebrate Valentine's, I don't, but I believe in sharing love all year round. But we want people to feel special and thank them for tuning in to Win, and we want to thank our sponsors for being with us throughout the years. And we want people to know that Win is alive and kicking and visible, and we're here to get you all the information you need on the airways, right? So on Monday, we're going to be in the square from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and we're going to be there giving away some goodies and getting you to sign up for our grand prize, which is a 2-night stay at Four Seasons, right? With breakfast. You don't have to worry about breakfast. No, it's an ocean view room. And I went to look up the prices of an ocean view room on the internet. And let's just say, is a grand prize for real, okay? Wow. So we'd like to thank our sponsors, Four Seasons, for that amazing prize. We also have a 2-night stay at Mount Nevis Hotel, who's been revamping and getting more visibility lately. So we also have that. They have a Valentine's Day dinner. You can check it out on our page, our WINNMedia SCAN Facebook page. And if you sign up for Love Week, what you have to do to play to win the grand prize, so you have to follow us on Facebook, like the page, follow us, like the Instagram page. You also have to subscribe to YouTube and make sure you go to WinFM or WINNmediascan.com, and there's a quick survey that pops up. It's 3 questions. It takes you about 10 seconds. All we want to know is, how do you listen to Win? How do you watch the shows? And give us your email address, and you'll be entered in the draw to win that grand prize. But when you come into the square on Monday, we can also sign you up. So we'll be there from 9 with the host from Island Tea. So we'll be doing an outside broadcast from 9:30 there for about half an hour. So make sure you come on over, and we'll be also giving away some promotional goodies. So even if you don't get to win the grand prize, you can still win a bottle of wine from Corkscrews. You can win a Win FM pen or a Win FM t-shirt or a keychain or some chocolates. You know, we're sharing the love, right? With the Island Tea team. And we'll have music, we'll have goodies, you can ask us questions about how you can advertise with Win FM. If you want to come on the air, if you want to be a guest on Island Tea, we can answer those questions. And we want to meet the people who listen to Win. We want to meet the people who listen to Island Tea. So come over on Monday, and all week during that week we'll have promotional giveaways from all our sponsors. I have time to name them, Jamster? Yes. So we have Dreamy Weddings on board. You can win a lovely Valentine's bouquet from Dreamy Weddings. Of course, Four Seasons, who is our grand prize donor. We have Mount Nevis from over in Nevis also. So it looks like Nevis is a place to be when we're giving away these 2-night stays. We also have Corks and Schools is giving they participated last year, and let me tell you, my staff enjoyed the wine tasting more than right? So they're actually going to come in on Wednesday on Valentine's Day, and we're going to do a little bit of wine education, right? So please eat something, because I don't want you guys to get too drunk, right? We also have Crazy Rolls, the new ice cream place at the movies where my daughter loves to go, and she makes me spend at least $30 every Friday night because they roll that ice cream in some special designs. We have them giving us stuff. We have Chop Shop is giving away 2 60-minute massages. Now, I'm going to put my name for that one because I need a massage after all this work.
Oh, we can enter?
You can enter, but the Win followers and the listeners' names will be pulled first, right? So please follow us all week next week. From Monday, we'll be in the square, so come there also to sign up. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and go on our website, WINNmediascan.com, even WinFM.com. It's the same thing. And you make sure you click up that survey and just follow those 3 questions, and you'll be entered to win a grand prize 2-night stay at Four Seasons. Now, I wish I could enter, right? 2 nights at Four Seasons with breakfast. So you guys can enter. I'll give you 1 pass. But if your name comes up first, I have to try it back in, okay? Right, so Love Week is happening. We're sharing the love on Win FM Island Tea every morning. Tune in next week from the 12th to the 16th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And the host will make sure that you guys get the love back because we appreciate the love that we get from you. All right?
Awesome. It's all about giving back here on Win FM and Island Tea. We want to say thank you so much. You've done an excellent job in concise
Okay, Azard.
marketing.
Azard.
Yes.
Short.
So we're
10
done.
o'clock.
Yes.
All
Thank you
that,
so
all
much,
that stuff
guys.
isn't
Thank
necessary.
you.
Come with
So
me.
we wish you a wonderful weekend. See
Everybody
you.
have a good day.
And a safe weekend.
Yes.
Bye,
all the
guys.
best. Yes.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.